What is going on, everybody? Back with another video, and today we got something that we got to talk about. This is going to be all about ANTIS INU, but I'm going to first start this off by reading what we posted. It was posted not only in the ANTIS group, but also in our group, in case people needed to have more info on what was going on. So a lot of people were surprised that we, not necessarily abruptly, but we parted ways with ANTIS INU, that company, or whatever you want to call it, that project, token project, whatever. And we parted with them for simple reasons. And it's reasons that everybody would know, or reasons that everybody would take to heart, and the result I think everybody would end up doing as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this off by reading what we wrote. As of December 28th, Donza Crypto entered into a partnership with a brand new token project. The project, known as ANTIS INU, hit the BSC like a whirlwind, and with our applied marketing reach, we successfully took ANTIS all the way up to 50x. That's $30+ million market cap. We have been under a non-stop pressure to continue performing at the highest levels to make ANTIS INU as successful as it could be during its first month live on the blockchain. Right now, ANTIS INU is on a wonderful trend, and things are still looking extremely healthy even as the market is in a slump. We have continued to make ANTIS INU relevant in a space where project tokens are used and abused daily. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. Our relationship with ANTIS INU has run its course. Our separation from the project was not consensual, but rather forced. As a company, we must protect ourselves from would-be scammers and thieves, as well as those whom we make work with who refuse to hold up their end of the bargain. With ANTIS INU, we entered with a negotiated contract that everyone was happy to agree to. We fulfilled our obligation on the 28th of January 2022 and awaited the payment for our services. What we did not know was that the financial agreement between ANTIS INU and ourselves wouldn't be fulfilled accordingly. Therefore, we have decided to terminate our services and obligations henceforth. We hope that you and our growing community will understand our position as an up-and-coming marketing empire and continue to support our efforts to break into the very best cryptocurrency projects to come in 2022. We will not falter in our journey, nor lower ourselves to the infectious, toxic, and traitor standards of practices in the blockchain development industry. From here on out, we will only work with vetted professional projects and developers who can stand not only for their project, but also their agreement of contractual obligation. So, what was that all about? Well, I belong to a group called Donza Crypto, obviously, and we market KYC'd and doxed projects only. ANTIS came to us. We wrote up a deal as quickly as possible before their launch because they were not prepared. They had no marketing whatsoever, and so we had to hit the ground running right away. Now, let me show you this. Let me show you this. All right, so today ANTIS put this on their page, and this was after the fact that we posted this within their Telegram and within ours, as I just read. This is what they've written. I think it was today. Yeah, it's today. Attention all DeFi projects, do not market with Donza Crypto. They have broken contract with us and sold over $35,000 worth of tokens. Proof is in the feed. Okay, so let's go ahead and check this out. So what they are referring to, as you can see, what they are referring to as the contract was this. This was part of the contract. Agreements. Donza Crypto marketing responsibilities, establishing a detailed marketing roadmap, basically building out the roadmap to freaking market them. Social media management, news media outlet advertising, building multicultural investors, multi-language content advisement. Compensation terms. Donza Crypto is requesting following compensation for overseeing the marketing and marketing implementation, content creation, and management. And to ANTIS INU tokens for Donza Crypto owner and marketing team. And they have right down here everything mapped out as far as the token allocation. Nothing wrong with that at all. Marketing expense. Advertising expenses will be the responsibility of the client, ANTIS INU, which would be Roger, who is the head dev. Payments for third-party contractors, including celebrities, influencers, media groups, will be negotiated to their lowest terms by Donza Crypto, but paid by ANTIS INU, aka Roger. Receipts for all transactions will be required and provided to ANTIS INU, which they've gotten. So this is what they've decided to post to fit their narrative. But what they also forgot to post was the agreement for BNB payments. Because in any deal where you're doing token allocation and you're locking it up for so many months, as you can see, we had a contract to not touch those tokens for 3 months. They put us under the private investor clause, which we were fine to do. We were okay with that. What they're referring to now is that we broke our contract by selling our tokens. But what they're not telling you is that we sold our tokens for a reason. What's that reason? But before I get to that, as you notice, they went ahead and started posting everybody in the groups, first and last name, and contact, personal information, PPI, right? Which is fine. I'm not going to trip on that. Roger is doxed and KYC'd. He should know better than to post people's names, especially when he doesn't know that one of those people is a government employee. I mean, you're posting somebody's PPI on your page, and they happen to be a government worker. Not only a government worker, a veteran, an Army veteran. Damn. Okay. Wow. Anyways, so we're gonna continue on. They posted that. I thought it was pretty hilarious. Again, it's bad. This is not going to be a one video thing. And let me actually go and show you. Let me actually go and show you what I wrote them before they banned me from their page. Let's see. In this post right here, they put, the attention do not work with us. And oh, actually, he probably deleted the post. I think he deleted the post. Ah, that's a shame. He deleted it, but it's all good. I'll go ahead and summarize what I said. I basically told him it would be in your best interest. Basically, what I told him was, if you guys really want war, because the people posting this or handling the social media is not Roger himself. No, it's not Roger himself. It's actually people that are in the private group community. They are posting. So they don't really have any clue of what's going on, because we never talked to them about marketing shit, because marketing was between Roger and ourselves. Now, we did do AMAs and VCs with the private group to kind of let them know what was going on, but that was only under Roger's consent. He only wanted certain things to be talked about with the private investors, and that was it. So what ended up happening? Let's see. Okay, well, they're done with that. But anyways, I want to go ahead and tell you what was going on. Roger was supposed to pay us handsomely at the end of the month, and that was going to be the actual payment portion of the contract. The tokens portion of the contract was not payment, because that's what I was going to say earlier. Whenever you do token allocations, you can't really take payment in their token. And the reason being is because that token doesn't have a set value. It's a variable. So it may not be what it's worth today, tomorrow. So it could be worth less tomorrow, which means, or it can be worth nothing tomorrow. And you basically got paid nothing because you chose to get paid in their allocation. That's why we did not do that. They were supposed to pay us BNB at the end of this project, or at the end of the month, 4 weeks. So on January 28th was our obligation was filled. This is what Roger had to offer. This is what Roger had to offer. This is what Roger had to offer for his generous payment, which was a slap in the face. He said, I sent you 1.5, and he's talking about BNB. I'm hoping we get a lot more volume this month, man. The majority of our utility expenses will be hashed out this month, and from here on out, it is only miners and marketing. So what he's referring to in this is that we all had a conversation before the Ethereum bridge launched, and we explained to him that we needed more time, like another week, a week at the least, but 2 weeks to try and get call channels, try to get connections on the Ethereum side to properly market ANTIS on the Ethereum side, since we had only been marketing on the BSC side. And they decided they wanted to do the bridge. Well, we need the time to actually market it correctly. We just spent almost 4 weeks marketing your project, which hit a 50x. You know what I'm saying? So we told him, and he agreed. He agreed during the meeting, and then literally 10 hours later, he decides to hit us up in the private group and say, hey, I'm sending you guys some funds for this ETH bridge launch, which is going to launch in a day and a half. Everybody was kind of shocked because we just had a conversation the night before. The night before. So the Ethereum bridge launch was a complete wreck. It was a complete wreck. It was sad. And it happened exactly the way that we told him it was going to happen. And it happened exactly that same way. He was upset because other people were upset at him because of the failed launch. This is what happens when you launch things with no marketing plan. You get what you put in. You get shit because you didn't put shit into it. So you got shit. And a lot of people were upset with him, and he decided to throw us under the bus. He threw us under the bus in the private group. And after that, we had a conversation. Right, we had a conversation after that, and we thought he understood, or he came off as if he understood. He wanted, let's see, I'm trying to find. Let's see. Maybe it was this one. What do you want, bro? Important, blah, blah, blah. So it wasn't this one, but I gotta find it. But this was the other day. We were telling them that this was the other day. This is not the full conversation. I gotta find it, but this is a part of it. My bad, guys. So what ended up happening was, let me find it. I don't think this is the first. Okay, so this is the actual one that I wanted to show you guys. Okay, so it's part of the conversation that we had with our group, our project leader. Oh yeah. Bullish Roger said you sent ETH for the bridge pre-sale. This was prior. We're having a small conversation. Says we should have this conversation tomorrow. That's what we told him. Let's have this conversation tomorrow, because he was like up in the middle of the night. Okay, so he says, okay, that's fine. I do not understand why you are still mad with me over the ETH bridge launch day. I laid out my very minimal expectations, and I expected to be able to talk with you at the time of the launch. I am allowed to have my own opinions, even if they are variable from what happened. However, I do not like when people hold grudges. I have since then, time after time, continued to praise the work you do. So what does he refer to? He's referring to when he says, okay, I don't understand why you're mad with me over the ETH bridge launch day. What he's referring to, I'm going to try to get this this other screenshot, probably not in this video, but in the next one. What he's referring to, obviously, is our outrage at what he had posted in the private chat, right? He posted in a private chat, basically said, where's Donza Crypto? During this terrible launch. He completely threw us under the bus. After we already had this conversation and said, do not do the ETH bridge until we properly market it. And as you can see, what he did, what he said was, I laid out very minimal expectations and expected to be able to talk with you at the time of launch. So his idea was he was going to let us know there was going to be in a day and a half we were doing the launch. He did not contact us after we responded to him in the private group. He basically ghosted us for days. He didn't, until this message here, he ghosted us because he didn't want to have the conversation of why he threw us under the bus, and he didn't want to have the conversation with the private holders to let them know why the ETH bridge had such a shitty opening, because he didn't want to have to explain to them that he decided to go ahead and launch the ETH bridge anyway when we recommended that he wait at least 2 weeks. He just simply didn't want to do it. So that's why he was saying he's allowed to have his own opinions, because we basically told him during the meeting before the ETH bridge launch, that it wasn't going to work out very well because it has no marketing. And so he said he's allowed to have his own opinions, even if they are variable from what happened. And what happened was a total disaster. That's what happened, right? And we're so bad, right? We're so bad, we're rule breakers, we're lawless, but yet I have since then, time after time, remember that song, Time After Time? You know what? It'll go find it. Time after time. Anyways, he says, I have since then, time after time, continued to praise the work you do. So we responded. My leader responded, I'm not, nor was I mad, Roger. Your birthday was the next day. I congratulated you, and I figured you needed a break. We just need to talk about the next steps. There's a lot we just don't know. Clearly, you have the wrong impression. That's why phone calls and meetings are important. And we said this because he has a tendency sometimes to avoid conflict or avoid anything that's going to have like a certain, I don't know, it's going to put him in a certain situation that he doesn't really feel comfortable in. So he replied, I believe this is the reply. He replied and said, we replied and said, communication is important. He replied, communication is the most important aspect in crypto. I agree with you there. Okay, so what time can we schedule a call? The PooCoin ads are running consistently. CoinSniper ads are running consistently. HuntCoins ads are running consistently. Instagram and Facebook ads will be up today. I landed a partnership with a military non-profit organization. Once I finalize today, we can announce it. I plan to do a voice call in the main chat tonight. Want to do it directly after? Before then, because it would be better so I can know what you have planned. One thing that he does a lot is he will just spontaneously open up a voice chat and start talking about things like cryptogram, Fitbit, staking, all these different things that he has not discussed with his marketing team. If we don't know what he's planning, we cannot market it correctly. And so that's why we told him, no, we're going to do it before, so we know what the hell is about to happen before you go live. That way we are equipped to answer their public's questions about what's going on. If we don't know, we look like idiots going into a VC and people start asking them these marketing questions about this, and we have nothing to give them because we didn't know about it till they knew about it, which was during the VC. So said, let's hop on a call at 7 p.m. We did that, and we took care of that. Guys, this is like the tip of the iceberg, man. This is what this spat here on Twitter is honestly about. And the reasons why we decided to just say, hey, you know what, we're out, is because very, very simply, I mean, the minimum on the table was supposed to be the minimum on the table that we were supposed to get was 5 BNB per group that he had sent allocations for. Obviously, it was going to be 5 BNB per person, and then our leader, he was going to get obviously more, a little more. What ended up happening is that when we heard that, it was very, like, it was almost like a slap in the face. Like, we just did 5 weeks, not 4, because technically he was still having us trying to do more. And as you saw in that message before, it said, I can only send you 1.5 now. So this is where the bullshit started to happen, because he originally told us, yeah, so at the very minimum, like we had discussed, it was going to be at a minimum 5 BNB per person. We weren't very happy about that. We weren't very happy about that. But that was the agreement, correct? That was the agreement. And the reason why we weren't happy about that, obviously the market is in a slump, right? So we said, okay, forget it. It is what it is. We just did a shit ton of work, tons of connections, tons. I mean, everything that you saw them do, AMAs, everything, that was us putting that in place. And so when everybody was not really looking forward to getting what we were supposed to get, it was okay. We had to swallow it and just move on. But when he sent us back, what he was going to do, when he sent this back to us and said, I sent you 1.5. I'm hoping we can get a lot more volume this month, man. A majority of our utility expenses will be hashed out this month. And from here on out, it is only miners and marketing. We told him basically, look, if you don't put any money in marketing, you're not going to get shit. You're going to have a buried gem. You're going to have the best project and nobody knows about it. And so that's exactly what happened. Further on in this conversation, this was him saying, hey, so sorry, I can send you 1.5 from what we talked about already. Everybody's supposed to get 5 each, but I can send you 1.5 now. And that was 1.5 to our organizer, our leader, the project leader. Everybody else was going to get less, at least 1, right? He said all he can send is 1 BNB to everybody. And for Matt, our leader, 1.5. That's like a slap in the face, everybody. Again, when you've already agreed on something and that doesn't get met, that's a slap in the face. Contractually, you were supposed to meet your obligation. You did not. It's on a separate screenshot. It goes into him saying he wants us to, he would like us to bear with him for another 2 to 3 weeks because of this that he said here. A majority of the utility expenses will be hashed out this month, and from here on out, it is only miners and marketing. So basically what he was telling us was he was sorry that he went and just bought a big ass building for crypto miners, and he spent all his money on Cryptogram and Fitbit and all this other stuff that we told him, and staking. All this stuff that we told him is not priority, and it shouldn't be a priority. The number one priority should be getting these miners up, because that's what you put on the roadmap. That's what people are expecting, and that's not what people are getting. They're getting all this other stuff that they don't care for, that they don't want. And that was his apology was, I can give you all guys 1 right now, and then you're gonna have to wait until the next month when there's more money for marketing and the miners. So it wasn't very fair. So yeah, I mean, this is oh, and the The salt on the wound here is he had replied separately and said that a couple of us, the contract addresses or our wallet addresses were messed up or whatever, couldn't send them. So our leader sent them again. Everybody but the two of us on the team, myself and Abby, we didn't get paid at all. And we waited 2 days to get paid, and he never responded. He ghosted us at that point, and it was pretty sad. But to even ghost us on one BNB, I mean, at this time BNB was like 3 something, 370, 380. It's pretty sad. Basically, he thought that he was going to be able to pay us like you would pay people from Pakistan, India, China, wherever. That's how he was going to pay us. And if you check out their other token, Infinity token, they wanted us to market that one as well, because that one basically died because they launched another project with no marketing, and they wonder why it died. So they're actually looking to revamp that or relaunch that here pretty soon. Obviously, we will not be working on that. We will not be working with any other devs ever again, because they are thieves. Basically, they're thieves. They want you to work for nothing. They want you to work on their promise. Well, I never signed an agreement. We never signed an agreement that said that he was going to ensure that we were going to have X amount of money or whatever from the tokens or whatever. So you can't guarantee your price, your value at all. You can't guarantee that. So he's basically upset that we didn't accept what he was going to give us. Now, mind you, this guy has been doing all kinds of things that we found out by doing digging, and that's going to be in the next video. But basically, what on the right side here, I want you guys to take a look at all of the wallet addresses. The top 50 are supposed to be the top 50 people in the private group. And the agreement or the contract between the private group was that nobody was selling for 3 months. But after we found and confronted Roger about multiple, if not almost all of the private sellers having side bags and transferring original token allocations that they had prior to the launch, sending them to other wallets so they can later be sold on the open market. When we confronted him about that, this is what he decided to do. And I think we have that recording as well in the VC on Telegram, where he basically said, no guys, that's not happening. We only found one person that was sniping, and we got rid of him, right? That's what he claimed. And he told us no. And then the next day, when we woke up, all of these, as you can see, look at that. If you look at this top one, look at the top 50. Everything is in 9s and 8s, but everything's jumbled together. He somehow tried to jumble everything together to make it harder to read who was the private sellers and who weren't. And well, that didn't work because we had already gotten it on video. And I have stuff on video that are going to be coming out later that will show you some of these accounts, but you can feel free to go through them yourself and try to track some of the money. But he stayed up pretty late trying to figure this out so nobody would have questions. But we had already recorded, so his lie turned into a big lie that he had to later attest to and say, hey, okay, sorry. There were more people that were doing it. He claimed that he didn't know that they had side bags that they were transferring to. He basically came out and said, okay, yeah, but there was nothing that he could do about it. Oh, okay, whatever. In that video, you'll also see multiple transactions worth hundreds of thousands of dollars being made by Roger himself. Playing the game, transferring money to CoinTiger, playing the stocks there, you know what I mean? Selling for high, transferring it back out. Same thing with what was the other Bitmart? Same thing with Bitmart, doing the same thing. You would see the actual PooCoin chart. You would see it dip so low because there was a $50,000 buy, $55,000 buy. This was all ANTIS. And later what he said is that he was pulling that money to be able to pay for the miners and whatnot. That's possible. But again, I say never trust the dev because you really don't know. In my opinion, everything leading up to this point had us scratching our heads because we were very confused on why there are so many big sales, but yet with the private group, but yet it was okay. At one point, I sold like $1,300 or $1,200 in the very beginning of my own money because I jumped into the ANTIS public sale as soon as it went live. I jumped into it with my own money and bought. I sold like $1,200, and this was on one of the AMA VCs, or the VCs that we had. I sold that, and immediately Roger was like, "Hey Oracle," our leader, he was like, "Hey Oracle, take a look at this. I just sent you a DM." And the Oracle then messages me and says, "Hey, what are you doing? This looks bad. You shouldn't be selling." And I had to confront him and say, I put in my own money. I can take that motherfucker out when I feel like it. Ain't nobody can tell me what I can do with my money, right? So that's what happened. But let's see. This is gonna be part 1.
You're almost done?
Yeah, I will get back on here with part 2 with some more juicy goodness, and man, it gets better, it gets better. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.